We're going to go into everybody's favorite, costing and inventory. All right. So there are different costing methods for your item. It is important to know what you picked. There's LIFO, FIFO, average. And if you have average costing, for example, and you do an inventory adjustment and you adjust all the inventory at $0, and now your average cost looks goofy, it's because you have average cost and you're dividing by it, you're adding in 0 in there. So you really just need to know what your costing method is and how it works. And if you have questions, it's stuff that we can help you on. There's information out there from NetSuite on those different definitions. But again, it's really important to understand how your costing is working. And then, like I kind of alluded to before, you can have different pricing levels and quantity breaks for your item. Here's an example out of one of our demo accounts. Maybe new customers get a 5% discount. This is different than using a discount item. This is actually using pricing levels and the pricing quantities on the item record itself. If you have a customer set up as VIP, they get 20% off. And then maybe you have a quantity break. In this case, it's all the same, but you could have, you know, maybe it's $2, $1.98, and just keep going down from there. Here you can see that we have a big quantity discount at 20. So this is a nice way for the person who creates the items to set this all up. And then somebody entering the order doesn't have to go, oh yeah, they get a discount if they buy over 10. NetSuite's going to calculate all that for you based on what you put on the item record. And you can have it different depending on your currency level, and you'll see those here. Anything, Amber, to add on anything I've said so far?
Yeah, I would just like to call out that once you've set your base price for your different quantities, the system will naturally calculate those discount rates for you. So a user doesn't have to go in there and type in the $2, the $190, the $170, the $160, like NetSuite does that. So I always try to recommend people actually use these versus on the transaction itself or somewhere else trying to fill in what the discount may be, because this is a super easy way to ensure that it's calculated correctly, and through the whole process it's using the right currency and value.
Yeah, and that's a good call. And also call out, you can do a discount, but you can also do an increase. So right here, if they order online, they're going to pay 3% more. So this is a great way for, yes, so your users don't have to do math on the fly or be like, oh yeah, what do we give our VIP customers again? Was it 20? Was it 25? Was it 32? And it makes it nice and easy, and NetSuite will do all that math for you. All right, so we'll talk a little bit about inventory. So you want to make sure that the inventory on your items is accurate. NetSuite does have the option to do some cycle counting. You can do a inventory adjustment or inventory worksheets to reset your levels. But we do recommend, depending on your business, doing regular updates of your inventory. You can also set lead times and reorder points. You want to make sure to set them realistically, because NetSuite will use those to help you when you create your sales orders and all of that. It will be like, oh, your reorder point is 30, you just had 30, we should quick put another order in. So if you're using those, NetSuite can help you keep track of your inventory. Again, we talked a little bit about lot and serialized number tracking. This can be really great for your inventory to help make sure you have traceability and quality control. Again, a lot of times this is used in food and electronics, but we've seen it in all sorts of different ways. And I'm going to call out again, if you need to inactivate an item, confirm that inventory level is at 0, because I cannot tell you how many times we're hunting down a needle in a haystack because somebody's accounts are wrong, and you're like, I don't know. Well, there's an inactive item that's got 400 quantities at your New York location, and now that once we zero it out, everything goes where it needs to be. So making sure that that's it. 0. And if you are helping somebody else do it, double check that they've done it, because we've had clients who are like, oh, I'll take care of that part, and then months later we're like, why aren't these accounts tying out? Like, oh, still has inventory. They missed one or two. So just verifying. Amber, anything to add?
Yeah, I just like the call out at the top, like the first one of inventory levels, ensuring that someone is counting on a regular basis to ensure what is in the system is what is on the shelf or in the bin or at the location. To Leah's point of, you never know what you're going to need to do with maintaining those items. And if you need 30 and you don't have it, but it says you have it because you haven't done a count in 6 months, that could just put the business into a really sticky situation.
So NetSuite does have a lot of reporting out there. If just right out of the box, if you go reporting and inventory items, these are all out of the box reports that are out there. I don't like reading slides, but just call out a few. Physical inventory worksheet. It's kind of like what we just talked about. If you're going to do a stock count, maybe you print it out and have somebody walk around. Maybe they have a tablet where they can go in and do a physical count right there on the floor of the warehouse. That's a great one. Your current inventory snapshot report that you can look at to see, as of this moment right now, what's my current inventory on item A, B, C, or D. The back order report will give you just that. Here I have 6 sales orders out there, and 3 of them I can't fulfill because these items are on back order because I didn't have enough. So there are some great reports out there just right out of the box. And again, you could customize those to meet your needs for your business. There's also a lot of reports for inventory values. Again, they're in the same spot over here. The one we see people use often is the inventory profitability report. This is only as good, again, as the data you put in. So this is why you want to make sure your costs are, what your costing method is. And if you're moving inventory in and out, that you're adding in the amounts of the cost so that everything calculates nice and pretty like it's supposed to.
I want to call out quick, if you don't mind, I use the inventory valuation report a lot for your example previously about, hey, this item is showing that the cost is 0, but I know that it should be $3 or something like that. That's really great to show all the different transactions that have went against that item, and you can find, oh, well, here was the one where it was 0, which is then bringing down your average, or anything like that. So I utilize that a lot for troubleshooting and validation against the transactions that are out there.
Yep, and I would agree. This is the one when somebody calls and says, my valuation report is off. You're like, awesome. This is the great one that'll help us figure out where it's off.